Hello everyone and welcome to a new IK video. This is Kincaid, and in this one we're gonna talk about the specializations for the fire march. Last time I talked about the mixed march, so in this video we're gonna talk about the fire march, the classic fire march, which is, in my opinion, the best to use right now, which is Cyrus, Empress Wu, and Trajan, and finally Hippolyta. So fire marches is always about critical damage. Even the dragon, if you take a look at the fire dragon, it is always there is a boost somewhere in a critical, and even more when you unlock the dragon talents. So let's talk about Empress Wu for starters. Empress Wu, I'm using Soul Burst. Soul Burst is the best one to use for mages. I mean Empress Wu, since it increases the critical damage and also increases the magical damage as well. You can see here that increases the critical damage at max level by 25% and it increases the magical damage by 30% at max level. However, after the update, after the upcoming patch notes, this will be increased. The magical damage that is being dealt will be increased, I think, up to 50%. So it's gonna be even better after the update. So this is gonna be a huge boost for Empress. So this is for Empress. As for Hippolyta, we're gonna look for the only one that increases the crit, which is Breakout or Destroyer stance. This one here increases your crit rate by 30%, and it increases your damage by 30% as well. And this one is also very nice on Empress Wu, since Dragon usually increases the critical damage that is being dealt by the Immortals, and Hippolyta usually deals a lot of damage. Depends on what kind of skills that you're using on her. For example, I would prefer on my old account I used to have full coverage and death press. I used to have a heavily DPS on Hippolyta, and it used to do wonders even against strong marches. So I think this is gonna make her even stronger right now. As for the other two, I think this one was specifically meant for the Mixed March, the one that increases your attack speed and damage. And this one here, I don't think is gonna be any better. Even after the increase in damage, the increase in damage will be 400% instead of 300%. But still, 9 seconds is a huge window to deal these damage. So not sure how it's gonna be like. But still need to test it out after the changes. As for Cyrus, we're gonna use the battle excitation. This is the only one that could be useful in this mod. And this one here increases the other back row Immortal's energy by 200 at the beginning of the fight, and it increases the damage for the other back row Immortal as well by 40% at max level. If you read it carefully, after the battle starts, restores 60 energy to another back row ally and increases their damage dealt by 40% at max level, 12% at level 1. So this one here is going to be a huge boost for Empress Wu as well. So if you use this alongside Empress Wu, which is going to deal insane amount of damage, and as I mentioned a lot in my previous videos, Empress Wu and the Fire March in total have a very high energy regain, so they have this ability to finish the fights very quickly. So this is gonna help them finish the fights even faster. The only one that is not gonna affect the this march that much is the Trajan specialization. I would use the Iron Well since it increases or reduces the damage used by Trajan himself by 25%, and it increases his resilience ratio by 25% as well, which means that he will be more likely to receive less critical damage from the enemy team. As for the other ones, I think this was specifically made for Anubis since he's the only defense immortal that deals damage. It increases his accuracy rate by 20% and increases the damage by 50%. So this is not gonna be helpful for Trajan by any means. And this one here is Tardy Barrier. This one here increases the no, this one here provides a shield for every 6 seconds in the battle, up to 180% for at max level. So I think this is for defensive marches, the marches that are using Charles or maybe Yisun Chen or even Athena. So I don't think this will be useful for fire. The one that will be the most useful will be this one here, which is Fearless Stance. This is all for the Fire March specialization and what ability exactly to use for each and every immortal. As for Seondeok, if you're planning to use Seondeok in the future, but I do not recommend to use Seondeok and Empress Wu at the same time. You have to use a support immortal in order to make use of the 40% damage increase. As for Seondeok, I think we're also gonna look, without any discussion, we're gonna look for the crit rate, the one that increases crit rate. This one here increases the crit rate by 30% and increases the physical damage by 30%. And this will be increased after the update up to 50% or 55%. I'm not sure. However, this one could have been very nice for Shiny since she focused a lot on her ultimate skill's damage. However, after the update, this will be nerfed, this will be buffed, so this will be better in my opinion, I think, but still needs to test it out. We're not 100% sure about the results, so we're gonna give it a try. As for the other fire immortals, I don't think there will be any other fire immortals that you can use alongside this. However, you can use Matilda instead of Cyrus, since Matilda is a support immortal and her ultimate skill is actually very useful for the other fire immortals. She increases the energy regain speed by 20% and also increases the damage by 20% for each damage dealt by the ultimate skill up to 3 stacks. That means the damage increase will be up to 60%. So in conclusion, she increases the energy regain speed by 20% and increases the damage by up to 60%. This could be very, very useful for fire marches, and I would recommend to use Matilda instead of Cyrus if you're able to. However, this is everything I wanted to talk about in this video. This will be all for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have a wonderful day.